So many small dramas that could have been solved in private, but look where we are when people like to be petty and ignore it and act as if nothing happened. And that's what we'll tackle today with a few people who were targeting a person that I helped before. Just to be clear before the video, don't even try to harass them. This video is specifically for them from me to take accountability on what they've done, and that's that. Now you may have heard of Hanevi. I've worked with them before with exposing their grammar and such, but now they're in a situation that they didn't want to make public at first, but had to have the help of other people call them out due to not wanting their audience to be involved. So let's quickly dive into this. Neon is someone I have come across every few scrolls on YouTube, mainly within a sub-community that's called Gacha Fight, basically an equivalent to crossing Gacha and Dragon Ball, or just about any fighting series if you will. So what did he do, you may ask? Well, good thing I don't have to explain myself too much. To put it in Hanevi's perspective, she and Neon were fine at the time and was just one of her fans that enjoyed her works a lot and followed her close, praising her all the time, and she appreciated it. However, things didn't go that way for long. Some time had gone by and Neon began to make posts about their own characters that looked similar to what Hanevi makes. Of course someone would say that Neon was inspired, but that wouldn't be the case. He continuously copied Hanevi to a point she had to privately contact him about it, making her uncomfortable. She was met with Neon lashing out on her, getting emotional, crashed out and played the victim. Let me put this in here before I forget. If you play the victim to someone just confronting you politely, it's pathetic and it's not a good reputation on yourself as a creator. I know Hanevi and she's nothing but very kind and polite to people. I don't know how someone could just crash out on someone trying to express their discomfort on being copied repeatedly. It's clearly disrespecting the boundary of a creator, and Hanevi had the rights to cut off Neon soon after. But would it end there with just her cutting ties? No. Neon soon became obsessed with her. Wherever Hanevi was, he'd respond to her every message regardless if it's towards him or not, trying to put himself in conversations with her, or even as far as waiting in some YouTube videos within their community to comment on her every comment, to the point Hanevi concluded that Neon was stalking her. There was a point that Hanevi went up to us about Neon making suggestive content, let's put it that way. Characters with unrealistic or exaggerated proportions in suggestive themes. Given the fact that Neon is almost 18 at the time and making this content to a minor audience is something to consider a red flag. Rightfully, a few people, including Hanevi, called him out on the content being inappropriate and vile to be showing in a minor-filled community. Now did he reflect and take down the posts at the time? No. He lashed out on her again and dodged most criticism and brought up old and unnecessary drama, refusing to acknowledge what was a pattern of his behavior, obsessively responding to Hanevi, copying her content and making her feel uncomfortable. It eventually led to Neon sending his and Han's interaction out of context. By that he left out his insults to her to paint himself as the victim, twisting the narrative to make Hanevi look like the bad guy to sway the public's view on her. Of course it didn't last long and it got deleted. However, we're well aware he's shit talking to Hanevi in private. And the roller coaster doesn't end here, because someone by the name Blood Masenki, a grown adult in their 20s, stepped in to defend Neon, and instead of making a responsible community post to de-escalate the issue, he fueled the fire with more kerosene. In my dictionary, the post was all about defending Neon's behavior. This includes the suggestive content he made while spreading more lies about Hanevi. Before we continue, this is clearly targeted at anyone enabling sexual behavior. You suck. Plain and simple. The post continues to lie about Hanevi, saying that she bullied Neon when it's not the case, since as mentioned earlier he cropped out the part of their conversation where he was crashing out and calling her names. This was clearly all an attempt to damage control, which guess what? It isn't working as of releasing this video now, is it? It's also funny that Blood decided to delete comments opposing their behavior. Really funny, a grown adult who is clearly 4 years my senior not taking proper criticism and accountability, clearly silencing and manipulating the situation, and boy do I love to ruin their plans. Another childish behavior is when we were told that they were banning people from their server being rightfully critical of them. And remember, they're both grown men regardless if Neon is a fresh adult. Even when people wanted a proper view of this situation, they got kicked and banned for it. God, they're pathetic. Creating forged images, making it seem like their server was supporting them when that's clearly not the case, because of course men like them have the weakest ego and don't like it when people are telling them what was right and wrong. While some were tricked or manipulated to think Han was the bad person in this situation and started making hate comments. So listen carefully if you're watching this video. If you really believed in these grown adults saying that someone who stated their discomfort is the aggressor, maybe listen to the other party first before believing them. And it's disappointing that Neon is enabling this behavior, clearly unaware that it's going to bite him in the ass in the future of what the consequences are are if he kept doing it so that it would quote, teach her a lesson. When in reality, you can't even take the lessons people tell you about what's right and wrong. Someone by the name of Evil Amber went as far as to make a degrading community post about Han to stroke their ego. You think I wouldn't notice that now, did you? I'm always well aware of these issues regardless if it's secretive or not. Before we do end this video, there is still one more thing about Neon's server, that he allowed someone to make exaggerated characters in his server. He was enabling this behind the scenes, and it not even that recent. It's been deleted since then, but we have the images saved for the purpose of what could still be posted there. It's clearly hypocritical. Anyways, I'm done with these people. I'm just as disgusted at some grown adults in the DBZ fandom being this egotistic and just not comprehending any consequences whatsoever. And my message to Neon? Take accountability and apologize to Hanevi. A genuine apology this time, because I was told you made a half-baked apology back then. To Blood, do yourself a solid and just remove the community post if you don't want to look bad. Take accountability as well and admit you and Neon were trying to save your fame in the worst way you could have come up with him. And to any of his defenders, just delete your hate comments, videos, or even community posts on Hanevi if you don't want to be dogged on than what I could already muster up. You guys are just tiring to handle, and it's disappointing to see grown adults act like children.